Like so many of us, Jacob runs away from home. After deceiving his father and brother, he runs rather than endures the consequences. But Jacob cannot escape because while he thinks he's running from a vengeful Esau, his brother, in actuality he's running away from himself. And in sheer exhaustion, he puts his head down on a rock at night, falls into a deep sleep, and in his sleep he visions a ladder rooted in the earth but reaching all the way up to the heaven, and there are angels traveling up and down the ladder. So the great Hasidic master, the Degel Machane Ephraim, he interprets Jacob's vision, saying that the constant motion, the upward and the downward movement of the angels is really a metaphor for all of our lives. That each one of us at times of deep connection to God, to Torah, to our partners, to our friends, to the best of ourselves. And Rabbi Ephraim, he calls these moments expanded consciousness and symbolizing the vision of the angels going up the ladder. And inevitably, invariably, these moments of deep disconnect to God, from Torah, from our partners, from our friends, from ourselves, times when we're really embarrassed by the way that we've behaved, ashamed of the person that we've become. In these moments that we are afflicted what he calls a contracted consciousness, and symbolized in Jacob's dream by the angels descending the ladder. And the great truth revealed here in this myth is that it is completely normal for a person to experience both the upward and the downward moments, that this fluctuation is in fact an inherent critical dimension of a dynamic life, that we all inevitably have moments of deep disconnect, deep alienation. Life, our sages teach us, is not a quest for contentment, but rather a quest, a struggle for authenticity. And an authentic experience of the world sometimes renders us moments, certainly renders us moments of contracted consciousness. The danger is if we see ourselves stuck in the bottom rung of the ladder, if we imagine that we are paralyzed in this place of darkness and disconnect, if our lives, our relationships, our careers, our families, our inner messaging must be as they are. But Jacob's vision points to the power of spiritual mobility, that the figures ascending and descending the ladder are in fact in constant motion, never dwelling too long on the bottom rung or on the top rung. Rabbi Schulweis taught that so many of us look at these darkest bruises and we say, our marriage will never change, or this is just who I am, I can't shake it. My mother denied me a piece of cake when I was 4, and I'm stuck with that the rest of my life. All the while racing forward with our lives, and what Rabbi Schulweis so beautifully, so eloquently phrases, papering over the anguish growing beneath the surface. But our sages teach us that it is great dreams that are the foundation of the world. Great dreams are the foundation of the world. That the whole world stands only because some people have the courage, the audacity, the chutzpah to dream great dreams, to allow ourselves to transform and to be transformed. So what happens when the dreams get in the way of everyday reality? When we have to put food on the table, the kids need winter boots, we have to pay the electrical bills. How do we know if we're being pie in the sky, airy fairy, or in fact realistic? Are we being visionary or are we entrenched? And is it possible to strike some sort of balance? So Rabbi Yitz Greenberg teaches that if we dwell only in the reality, the so-called reality, the perceived reality, we forget to imagine that our lives and the world can look different than they do right now. But at the same time, he teaches, if we dwell only in the dream, we forget to get our hands dirty working and repairing our reality. So imagine the angels traveling up and down come to symbolize the authenticity of both the reality and the dream, and the fluidity between the two. Our challenge is to be able to bridge the division between the two, and like the angels, to work to bring our reality closer to the world we dream of and the world we long for.